and get started here. And I think everybody has InfoOhio pulled up now. And I'm sitting kind of in front of it, so it might be kind of hard to see. But as you can see, there are 4 boxes here, and they're divided by grade levels. I always go to core collection because even though I work with 5th and 6th graders every day, that at least allows them some choice instead of going into just their grade level. Because especially with some of the grade levels choices that they have, some of the students might just be able to just handle what is there for the lower grade levels, and then some of them might be able to handle something a little higher level. So this way, at least then it allows you to look at all the databases that are available. And of course, as you can see, they're over here in the blue text, as well as in the tabs down through the middle. And it gives you a little blurb about what each one is about. They have made some changes in the last few years. Like they used to have what was called Access Science Online, but now it's just called Science Online, and that's by Facts on File. They used to have Britannica as the encyclopedia, but Britannica is no longer available, and they just have the World Book. But if you click on the World Book web tab, it does bring up, and it goes alphabetically as well. The tabs do right down through the middle, as well as on the text on the left side. Then they do divide that World Book web up into the different age or grade levels. So, of course, my students usually work with that middle one, the World Book student, grades 5 through 9. But if I have some lower level students, like 5th graders that maybe are working on a 2nd or a 3rd grade level, then I'll use that World Book for Kids. So that is the actual encyclopedia that's available, is the World Book. And the Science Online is, it's really not very user-friendly for the lower level grades. Maybe grades, some of your 6th graders on up would be able to use it, but it's definitely really not for the K through 5 at all. And if you look at the newspapers, it's a collection of 5 full-text Ohio daily newspapers, and then there are some other newspapers there as well available. So especially if you do any kind of current events, that would be a very worthwhile database to use. So if I click on Newsbank, again, they go alphabetically. Just click on the tab again. Then here's all the Ohio newspapers that are available. And then they do have some news magazines. So if I click on America's News Magazines, then here are some of the news magazines that are available. And you can search by,
wait, where did you go to get?
I'm at Newsbank. I'm at the Newsbank tab. So let me go back one more. Remember, on the left side of the text, in blue text, they go alphabetically, and then the tabs right through the middle go alphabetically. So Newsbank is kind of right in the middle. So if you're doing any kind of like current events, that would be a very worthwhile tab to use. The EBSCO host, that's this one right here. It's EBSCO host. EBSCO, E-B-S-C-O host. If I click on this one, this has thousands of periodicals, magazines. So you all remember, I think we're pretty much all in the same age group, just about, except for Paulette is over here. She's the youngin'. But we use the Reader's Guide to Periodical Literature. Yes, right, green. And then I remember green. But, well, so we no longer, Reader's Guide is no longer published, as far as I know. I mean, I haven't purchased that in eons for any library media center. So this is what you use, is the EBSCO host. And then the tabs are broken down as to the Kids Search, Student Research Center, and then the Student Research Center for the older ones as well. So, or you can go to the all database search and do it from that route if you want. And it makes it a little more advanced, a little more thorough. But any magazine, I don't know, I think there's like 6,000 magazines, periodicals, that you can have access to. So I remember, my gosh, I had to use the Reader's Guide all the time for any kind of research, constantly. I'm sorry, say it again. Yes, and index cards, right. So, you know, this is a great tool to use because, like, if I clicked on that middle one, the Student Research Center, which is for, I think it said grades 5 through 9, and then you can, it says include when searching. let me go back again in case you missed which one. I'm clicking on that middle one right here, 6 through 8 actually. Or you could go to the higher level one, whatever you want, grades 9 through 12. Once I click on that then, I'm just clicking because this is what I deal with, this is the middle school kids. Then as you can see, whatever format that you want your info to come in, then you keep it clicked. If you don't want that particular format for your information, then just click off of it. So it'll take the green check mark away. If you don't want any primary source documents, or if you don't want photos or flags, if you don't want any state or province reports or anything, or country reports, if you just want to stick with magazines, then click off of everything and then just leave your magazines as a choice there. It just really depends on what their topic is. But if you say, I want a periodical magazine as one of your sources, then they can just click off of everything and leave that clicked. And then they can go ahead and do their search from here in the basic search bar, which is at the top where it says Find, or you can go to an advanced search and make your streamline, make your search a little more specific. So if I just do the basic search bar, and if I type in, let's say, I'm just going to type in Arctic, because that's what I'm doing the next thing for our ebooks session, then it comes up with all the results, and it's just magazines that I've used as my format, and it comes up with quite a few hits, actually, probably too many, just like a Google search would come up with. It came up with 2,399 actual magazine articles. So that's a little too broad. So let's say if I want to do Arctic animals and make my search a little different, then I will just type in Arctic animals, click search, and now my results come up with 117 results. And as you can see then, and you can sort by however you want. This is by date, descending, and then, which is the most recent, and then the actual relevance to your particular subject, which wouldn't hurt to do that. And then if I click relevance, then it'll redo it all over again, okay? And then it brings up those articles that are more relevant to the actual search that you put in on your search bar. So again, I still have the 117 articles, and it gives me, like, number one, this is the title of the article, the author, and then the actual magazine. This is from New Scientist. There's the date, November 21st, 2009, the volume, the issue number, the page number, and then it usually tells you if there's any pictures to go with it. I don't see that there's any with this one. It will give you the reading level, the Lexile reading level. And then if you want to look at the article, because it always gives you like a little blurb about it. Like, I've had students that will look at this, and then they think that that's all the info they get. You know, that's all there is. I say, no, honey, you have to actually click on the article or click on full text. So if I click on full text, then it will take me to the full page, or pages, of the article. And it gives always the citation for it as well. So the citation is right there. And sometimes they're in a HTML, and sometimes it'll be in a PDF file. It just depends on what magazine or periodical it is. So then you can start your search over if you want, or go back and click on any of the other choices. And you can also then, of course, make your search, as I had said previously, a little more detailed. I know I worked with Miss Tinsman last year with her students, and I think they found that once they did the advanced search, that helped to filter out quite a few of the, sources, articles that they would not want. And then they can do like a Boolean search, and they can use their ands, ors, or nots. Ands means that you want, like, let's say I want to find out about cats and dogs, or you could say I want to find out about cats or dogs, and then you could say cats, not dogs, or dogs, not cats. So you can use those Boolean search terms if you go to the advanced search.
On the date, if you don't define how far back.
Actually, you know,
On the magazine.
I don't know how far they go back. You know, I really don't know.
Okay.
But at least you know that they're current.
Right, right.
As for far back, I'm really not sure. And you probably can put a date in there too as well. Trish, did you have a question?
Yes, I want to know where you went to get 117 results. Tell me someplace.
Okay. Okay.
460,000.
Okay, I'm at the student, and also let me tell you this. On each of these databases, no, I shouldn't say each, on many of them, in the right corner, they'll have a link to get back to the home page of InfoOhio. Okay? Like on the Student Research Center, there's a little, in the right corner, it says InfoOhio. So if I click there, I can get right back to my home page of the InfoOhio. But unfortunately, sometimes it's not always like that with every database. And then it gets to be kind of a pain to get back there. But if I'm here at my home page, look, Trish. Are you at InfoOhio?
I think I lost InfoOhio.
Okay, well go to infoohio.org. The only time you, and I should say that, the only time you have to have a password or a username is if you are at home. So if a student is at home, they have to have a username, password, and right now, it changes like every couple of years. Like this summer in July, they'll change it again. But that's the only time they have to have a username, password is if they are at home. Because any public type of a facility, like a college, university, even the private ones, like if you are in, let's say, a public building, like the courthouse, or here, then you are supposed to be able to get onto InfoOhio without using a username, password. Okay, did you get there, Trish?
Should I go to electronic resources for grade 6 to 8? Is that one?
Yeah, the core collection, did you click there?
I did previously.
Okay.
Yep,
And then I'm at I went to EBSCO host.
that's where I think I took that.
Okay, EBSCO, EBSCO host.
Little tab.
Yeah, you can go by the tabs, click on the tabs. Okay, then I clicked on the top middle tab that says, it's gold and purple, it says Student Research Center, grades 6 through 8.
Okay.
So if you click there, then see all the different ways that you can get your information in particular formats. You can get it by magazine, newspaper, books, encyclopedia. You would click off what you don't want. So like if you just want your students to find research in the format of a magazine, then you would leave that clicked with a green check mark and click off of everything else. And then you can just do a simple white, use the white search bar to do a simple search. And then, of course, over on the left side, too, of that Student Research Center, they do have already subjects there listed for you. If you want to click on those and then go from that particular avenue of searching. They have top searches there listed right below that in blue. Election 2012, Syria, Iran, concussions. So I'm just going to go back to my home page of the InfoOhio and then get back to the my tabs for all my databases. Or do you want to stay there for a while and search? You can stay there for a while if you want. That's okay with me.
Take us someplace.
Okay, I'll take you someplace different. How about if we go to the art collection? The art collection is the very first tab. Again, they go alphabetically. So if I click there, then I click on the tab again. And then let's say if I give us an artist, Diane. Tom Thompson. Is that T-O-M?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's no P in Thompson.
No P, just Thompson. Okay.
Oh, me too. We clicked arts and media, and we're someplace different.
Oh, okay. It's the art collection. It's the very first tab. Art so if you go back to all of your database tabs, so we're in a different database now. We're in the art collection. Okay, I'll go back. Let me show you. Okay, here's my, look at all, here's all my tabs. This is where I'm at, the art collection, very first one. So if I click there, then you have to click it again, then here's the search bar. And Diane said, let's look up Tom Thompson without a P. Tom, so it's Thomson. And then your enter key on your keyboard always usually works the same way as your go or submit or whatever. So you can just click enter or go. And we came up with 139 results. So then you can actually click on maybe one that catches your eye. It gave a full image of it, and then over to the right, let's see, it gave if you click on the description, then here's a description, a little more, kind of almost like a citation, I guess you could say, about that particular piece of art by Tom Thompson. And what's nice about this database is that right there it has the art collection right above at the top. So I can click there and it gets me right back to my search bar again, which I like. A lot of these databases are different. Some are a little more user-friendly, some are not. Some allow you to get right back to InfoOhio, some don't. And as you can see, this one does not give a link right back to InfoOhio, unfortunately. And it's just not, like paintings. You can search for all kinds of, anything that is in that genre of art, in the world of art. If I type in pottery, I'm sure I'll come up with quite a few hits. Well, not too many, 189. So that's not too bad. That's a workable. So I typed in pottery in this same database. So if any of you have any nice, artifacts at home, you need to look up to see if anything's worth anything, or if it belongs in the Smithsonian or something. And then over on the right, you can see you're already looking at the thumbnails. You can look at the thumbnails in the text. Or, of course, you can click on a particular piece as well. You can have just the text only without the particular picture of it. And same thing, if I click on one of them, then it gives me a tab that I can click for description. See, now with the art collection, with the art tab, it's one thing I don't like is that there's no easy way to get back to the InfoOhio page. It's a little more difficult. There's no real link, and that's kind of sometimes aggravating, especially when you're wanting to use several databases. Let's go to another one. And you can stay wherever you want or go to wherever you want. I'm just going to show you some. I'm going to click on the Biography Reference Bank. That's a fairly new one. It used to be another type of biography database. And this one's hosted, it's owned by the Wilson Company, but it's hosted by EBSCOhost. So if you're having your students do any kind of research on any particular people, then same thing. I always have my students, you can type first name and then last, but I like to do last name and then first. And in my 5th and 6th grade, we've been doing presidents, and you don't have to worry about capital letters. oops, I spelled it wrong. But I do try to encourage them to use last name and then first name, comma, space, first name, and then to include an initial if there's an initial. And they'll come up with different individuals, because we know many people have the same name. So when I did Thomas Jefferson, it came up with quite a few different selections. So they have to make a kind of a decision as to which one they would click on. I mean, I've had some 5th and 6th grade, even though it's there in front of them, they'll click on the wrong Thomas Jefferson. So you have to make sure, they have to make sure they click on the correct one, whichever one they're researching. And there again, like for instance here, it brings up just like a blurb, like a summary, a concise little summary about Jefferson in the article. So they have to come down here then where I always tell them if they see the font in blue, then they usually know. If they put their cursor over it, that little hand comes up and they can click on it again. So therefore, these are related documents down here that would give further info about Jefferson. They could actually look at one of his speeches that might have mentioned Thomas Jefferson. It might not even be by him. And then they can click on either of those. So this one deals with when he was the president. This one deals with when he was the vice president. So I'm going to click on this one. And for me, then what happens is it comes up as a PDF file. I hope it does. Oh, well, this. And so what you would do is go over here to the left side and click whatever particular part they would want to look at, or they can just scroll right down. And since it's in a PDF file, then they would make it a little bigger so that they would be able to read it, and it would be readable instead of such a small font. So they can use the outline over on the left side, or they could just scroll down, whatever they choose to do. Okay, so I was at the Biography Reference Bank, and I typed in Thomas Jefferson. So maybe I just want to look at his important dates in his life. Then I clicked on the left side on the outline part, and then it gives me important dates in his life. Okay. And again, this is only the second one I chose of 1,984 different articles that deal with Thomas Jefferson. So it really just kind of depends on your student, how adept they are at researching and what they can handle. But the EBSCO host is who hosts the Biography Reference Bank. So here I am back at the InfoOhio main page with the tabs again, and all the databases are listed over here on the left side. Like I could click on, if I want to click on that digital video collection, I one time sent an email out about this because it's a fairly worthwhile database to look into. You can actually have it just video streamed to your computer, and then you can use it like throughout the day if you have a particular video that you're wanting your students to watch. But it just depends on the particular subject or the topic, whatever you're looking for. You can go to Browse Videos. So I'm at the Digital Video Collection Now database. That's where I'm at, Digital Video Collection Database. You can browse full titles if you want. You can search titles. Like let's say we want to do something on the Arctic. Then I'll just type in Arctic, hit enter or search. See what we can come up with. Tells me that there's 2 found on the topic of Arctic. One deals with global warming a full program. And it'll also tell you the length of the video. This is 22 minutes in length. And it was last viewed, it tells me that, on actually today. And there's another one called Tundra Biomes. That might probably be a little more useful one, especially if I was teaching on the Arctic. So you can have that video streamed to you. So if I click on it, you can go ahead and just start viewing it from right here. You can download the video if you want, and then it automatically goes away after a while, and you can't copy it. So that's one thing. You might be able to try it. Some people might be able to actually copy it, but of course they don't want you to copy it to, like a DVD or anything. So however you'd want to download it, you could go ahead and download it, and then, or you can just go ahead and view it right now. Like if you're using a smart board or a whiteboard and you have a projector, then you can just project it and have the students view it right then. It's kind of your choice, whatever you want to do. I have found that it's pretty good for science. So that's the digital video collection. And if I type something, let's see if we do something. I don't know if I could find anything on a particular, like, let's see if I do, I could try to do like a memorial. Let's say if I do the Vietnam Memorial. And if I click search, it gives me 5 videos found.